Hi everybody, I wanted to show you guys a little craft that I'm doing right now. They are wine cork coasters. And I wanted to show you how I did them and some tips on, you know, little tricks and things. I've made a few. There's some more over here. But yeah, so to start this out, you're going to need a glue gun. This one's plugged in, so that's why it's kind of positioned here. A cutting board, a serrated knife, one that you can get a good grip on, some tongs, a ruler. This is the cork backing. I got this from Michael's. Real simple. I think this, I used my coupon, but I think regular price it was $11.99. And of course, wine corks. Does it help if you use all the same kind of wine cork? Yes. Do you have to? No. These are all Castle Rock wine corks, but this coaster over here, I made with 4 different kinds of wine corks. Fat Cat, La Valentina. This one was just plain. So it's all about matching the size. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh, and you also need a pot of boiling water, and that's waiting for you. You always want your boiling water waiting for you. And scissors. Naturally. Scissors. Very important. Okay? So I'm going to pause this and I'll start the process and I'll have you guys along the way. Okay? So here we are at the kitchen assembly. We have a boiling pot of water, and you want to make sure you have a good amount of water in there because it's obviously you're going to leave it opened. The corks are going to be in there for 10 minutes, so it is going to boil down, so make sure you have a good amount of water in there. Rolling boil. Tongs, of course, the corks, and you want to use natural cork. The whole point of this is that it's a coaster, so you need them to be absorbent. Natural cork works best for that, obviously. So you want to use natural corks for this project. Representing the wine, gotta love it. Your serrated knife, serrated is good. I tried other knives. Serrated knife, this is a bread knife. Well, actually it's kind of an all-purpose knife, but mostly a bread knife worked best for me. And of course a cutting board to cut them on later. So you want to take your corks. Remember, you got to get that rolling boil, and you just drop them in. They will be fine. They will expand, and what this will do is it will get all of the residual wine out of them. It'll also sterilize them, and any ones that you have that kind of have dents in them or have a funny shape on them because of the bottle they're in, it'll go away. It'll make them all nice and plump and pretty, just like they were before they got put in the bottle. And this will be in here for 10 minutes. So, yeah, tongs, very important. Lovely things. So, I will let these boil for 10. Set the timer. And I will see you back in 10 minutes when I'm ready to cut them. Okay? So, we have hit our 10-minute mark. So, what we do now, obviously, we take them out. But you don't want to take them out one at a time. I found that if you leave them in here until you're ready to cut it, then it's much more pliable. If you take them all out, then they dry and it's not as easy. The other reason that we boil them is because it makes them, they cut pretty easy. Not necessarily like butter, but you know, it's definitely a hard material, but way easier, and they don't flake. So you'll be able to cut them all the way through and they won't flake on you. Okay, so I am going to now take this out, put it on the cutting board, and I'm going to cut it. And because I'm doing this one-handed, I can't do that process with the camera, but I will show you this. So how I do this, you take it out, move it over to a towel, drop it on the towel, roll out just once, and then you put it over on your cutting board and you're ready to cut it. I'll pause here so I can concentrate on cutting, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we've cut it in half. So how I usually hold this is I'll hold it like this, put the knife in the middle, and then just cut it through. But you see how there's no shedding, it's just a perfectly cut cork. And you want to do all 4. It takes 4 corks to make one coaster. So you want to do all 4 like this. And you mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. You want to get it, this one, I doubt that it's perfect. But you want to get it in the middle as much as possible. And so when you turn it over, your cork will look like that. Okay? But I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest, and then I'll see you guys back over at the other table to show you how I put it all together. Alright, so now we're back at the table. All the corks have been cut. So I've already said you want to use natural cork. When you're going to cut the cork, the serrated knife really is the best that I've found. Careful with your hands. You can lose holds of some of them. And also, the reason that I do the rubbing part is it takes away some of the steam and some of the sting of it, but it does not necessarily make the cork harder to cut. So I do like to rub it over the towel once just to get that excess water off of it, and that way you can handle it a lot easier. Second thing, well, probably not second, but whatever. I don't know if you can see this on this cork, but the very tail ends of this thing are not the original cork. The company, oh, let's unblur that. There we go. The company who made this cork took 2 pieces on the tail ends there of another cork and glued them on here. Now, I did have it happen where I came across a cork like this and those ends fell off. I hot glued them back on and kept on going about my business, but only after I cut them. Obviously, you don't want to try and saw through hot glue. It's not fun. So, just don't panic. Keep sawing right through it. And then when you get back to the table with your hot glue gun, just hot glue the ends back on, give them a second to dry, and move on to the next stage. Okay? So, now I have all of them cut. We're going to measure them out. And this is important because this is what's going to tell you how big you need to cut your cork bottom. So, we're going to position these out however you want them. This is just how I'm doing it. And this is obviously the design of the actual cork. The coaster. I like them with the words facing one way, so on and so forth. I'm a little OCD like that. Okay. So this is going to be, this is the rough draft pretty much of my coaster. You put them all out, and you can do it. I mean, I liked having the words facing one way or the other. You can do whatever you want. That's just my OCD nature. So what you're going to do now is you're going to measure this. You're going to get your ruler and you're going to measure the length and the height of it so that you can cut out your cork the correct way. Now, obviously, I like to measure both lengths, but obviously, I mean, odds are if it's one measurement one way, it's going to be the same this way because they're all the same size, but whatever. So I'm going to measure this out, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now I've measured out the bottom of my cork, the cork coaster, and cut it with the scissors. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but you need a pen that is actually going to stay on the cork, preferably something marker-esque, but very thin. This is just the pen that I have laying around. I mean, it worked really well. So, you want to cut these out. And now we're on to the hot gluing process. And again, this isn't something that I can do because I'm doing this one-handed. It's hard for me to show you, but basically what you want to do is you want to get your hot glue gun over here. Come on down. There you are. And you want to get a good solid layer all over the bottom of the cork from top to bottom. That's kind of what you're going for. I am going to try to get one of these on camera so you can see how I do it. But that's pretty much what you're going for. Is from top to bottom you want it to be glued, and then you just press them onto your cork board here. And that's the end of it. That's the whole process. I will adhere a couple of these to the cork board, and I'll be right back.
Recording.
So my lovely man decided to come help me, so I can show you guys actually how I put these on. So here is basically what it looks like. I don't know if you can see all the hot glue, but it's there. And then you just take it to the top and press down. And you do that for all of them. Good solid amount of glue, but not enough that it's going to leak everywhere, because that's not what we're going for. And you will burn a couple of glue sticks doing this, so make sure you have plenty in the stockpile. And then you just glue it down. And before you know it, you will end up with a cork coaster that looks something like this. Start, finish. Alright, so I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And please leave any comments with your success stories or questions or whatever you guys, whatever questions you have, I'll do whatever I can to help out. Alright, so happy crafting, and I'll talk to you guys later. Blessed be. Bye.